Testing on camera 2.
Right. Thanks, Rachel. How do I look, Flynn?
Toby, you're hardly gonna be on. What does it matter?
Oh, come on. Looks make the show. We're going to be broadcasting live, so it needs to be perfect.
Camera 2 looks good.
Level's good.
Warm and punchy.
You ready, Toby?
I was born ready.
Good, because we've been broadcasting for 15 seconds now.
What? Oh, for the... The reign of Empress Lionstone XIV was steeped in the blood of her people, and the end of that reign was no different. The empire of humanity had existed for millennia and covered a vast galaxy of planets, imposing on those planets in its domain an increasingly harsh form of civilization, in which the aristocracy had all the power, and those who had none were the clones and espers, the slave labor force that made the empire run. It was an empire in which the technologically miraculous existed hand in hand with the primitive. The most striking example of this lay in its weaponry. Due to the simple reality that all energy weapons had an inherent and unavoidable recharging lag, every warrior was trained in the cherished art of swordplay. Most battles that weren't determined in the first barrage of disruptor fire quickly degenerated into steel against steel. Another instance of the primitive was a major source of entertainment for the populace. The bloodthirsty mortal sport found in the arena on the homeworld of Golgotha, broadcast throughout the galaxy, with a body count produced by the mysterious masked gladiator, was perhaps the most legendary. In the realm of the miraculous, the most horrific example was the creation and utilization of the Dark Void device, an invention of the first Deathstalker, the first warrior prime of the Empire, centuries before the reign of Lionstone. At his beloved Emperor's command, to bring an abrupt end to an earlier bloody civil war, Giles Deathstalker wielded the weapon, extinguishing all life on 1,000 planets, creating a vast, quarantined, dead region of the universe, the Dark Void. When he looked upon what he had done, the grief-stricken Deathstalker seemingly disappeared and was never found by the Emperor's searchers. While Empress Lionstone wielded ultimate power within the Empire, most of what was left was the embattled territory of the clans, the privileged aristocracy in their pastel towers on the Empire's homeworld of Golgotha. Clans such as the Campbells, the Wolfs, the Shreks, and the Chojiros were prominent rivals. These were wealthy families that intrigued ruthlessly for domination in the economic and political structure of the Empire, sometimes resorting to actual open warfare in the officially sanctioned art of the vendetta. A noteworthy incidence of this particular dark aspect of society was the slaughter of nearly all of the Campbell clan in a ruthless and savage attack by the Wolves. Finlay and his nephew Robert were the only prominent Campbells who escaped. The Empire of Lionstone justified much of its ruthless and brutal practices by the simple fact that it had so many enemies, more than a few of its own making. These included the Hayden Men, a race of cyborgs created with human and alien technology to be super warriors in the Empire's thrall, but who soon developed their own agenda. The bloody war that ensued was won only by sheer virtue of humanity's overwhelming numbers, and the Hayden Men retreated to a secret place of self-induced dormancy until the time was right to try again. The most malignant and potentially fatal venture in humanity's reckless technological exploration produced the artificial intelligences known as SHUB. Once the AIs acquired consciousness, they fled humanity's grasp with a fierce hatred for their creators. hidden away on a mysterious world beyond humanity's detection. They declared themselves the new enemies of humanity and began a covert war against those who gave them life. Just two of the weapons in Shub's arsenal of subversion include the Furies, powerful android agents who imperceptibly assume the identity of important people in the Empire, disguised in the living skin of their victims, and the Ghost Warriors, technologically reanimated human corpses, a devastating army to set against the human enemy, psychologically as well as physically. Prominent among the Empire's internal antagonists was the Esper Liberation Force, the Elves, psychically empowered former vassals of the Empire, considered property, as were the clones of humanity, until many escaped and formed an underground alliance to oppose the Empire's tyranny. Espers and clones, including many who were both, proved a vital component in the success of the rebellion. Lionstone well earned her whispered sobriquet of the Iron Bitch, but she made a fatal mistake when she outlawed Owen Deathstalker, descendant of the first warrior prime of the Empire. Rejecting the violent heritage of his warrior clan, Owen had chosen the life of a sometime historian and full-time hedonist on his homeworld of Viramond, until the Empress inexplicably declared him a traitor and put a price on his head. Narrowly escaping the clutches of his own mercenary security staff with the serendipitous assistance of a sexy female renegade, Owen assembled a motley, if ferocious team of misfits, including the fiery ex-pirate who rescued him, Hazel Dark, Tobias Moon, a surprisingly human Aiden man left behind by his brethren, Jack Random, an aging legendary rebel hero, the deadly female bounty hunter and mercenary Ruby Journey, and, most improbably, his own legendary ancestor, the creator of the Dark Void device. With the help of his comrades, the one-time historical scholar reluctantly initiated an escalating succession of unlikely events, including the transformation of his band into beings of superhuman power through the mysterious alien artifact, the Madness Maze, and the Hayden Men's resurrection as rebel allies, events that would finally lead to the Great Rebellion that would save humanity, at least temporarily, from its own destruction. After a bloody but successful revolution, the great empire of humanity is in the process of rethinking and rebuilding, of hammering out just what they are to replace the old tyrannical government with. For the time being, the government of the Reconstruction is in the hands of Parliament, and it remains to be seen what the purpose and place the heroes of the Great Rebellion will have in this brave new world they've brought about. With a weakened fleet of starships, the Empire is all too vulnerable to external threats from Shub, the Hayden Men, and at least two alien races that have demonstrated hostile intent in the past, and it seems highly improbable that any of the Deathstalker Circle will live to see a quiet retirement. I'm Tobias Schreck for the Archive channel, and this has been More Than You Know. Click in for our next program, where we will explore the various theories on the origin of the most enigmatic and controversial legends of the Empire. Half a Man, the other side of the story. Well, I think that went well. What do you think, Flynn?
I think we're still on.
What? Oh, father.